This is the Violent Professional Podcast brought to you by AriesClothing.com.
Hello, kids. Hello, kids. You little kids. I got something to tell you all. It's, y'all, I got something to tell y'all. It's very important. Let me put this right here so it doesn't look like I've got a goddamn fucking poof of hair up there, even though I do. You can tell. It's the fucking golden locks. I gotta tell you something. It's very important. It's time to release the fucking Kraken! Oh, what's that Kraken? Fucking release the Kraken! Fuck. You know, there's a lot of people that talk shit about the Coors Light. I love it. You know? Could be something worse. Could be Bush. Could be Bush. You know, they have those commercials where they they crack the top and they go, Bush. Well, Bush is exactly that. It's fucking Bush. It's all sweaty Bush. Bush that gets piss all poured down it, you know? You take a good money shot on top of that Bush, and that's what you got. You got Bush beer, all right? You know, not many people can release the Kraken like you can with a fucking cold Colorado Kool-Aid or the Coors Light. Oh, you know what fucking Bush is? It's when you drink a shit ton of Coors and then you take a piss, and then you piss in a can, and that's the Bush. It goes, Bush. This podcast is not brought to you by Coors or Bush, but it's going to be an interesting one, and I think it's much needed, you know? I'll try to bring it a little bit light. I'll try to make some humor out of it. There's a lot of nonsensory going on. I mean, nonsensical nonsense going on, and I want to talk about it. You know, I'm going to change things up on this episode. I'm going to do a little bit different, but I do want to talk about things. I want to talk about things they're bothering me, you know? I'll talk about a little bit of pop culture. That's something I don't do, but I'll do it. Fuck it. I'll talk about, another podcast. I'll talk about a comedian. I'll talk about a comedian that I'm fond of. I'm highly fond of, that I think's been done the dirt. I think two of them have been done the dirt, and I'm going to talk about it, you know? But let's not talk about that right now. You know, and I say that in the loosest terms because it's just me here. It's me here talking to you, you know. But I do want to talk to you about something. I do want to change things up about the podcast, and I think one of those things is I think I'm gonna, change it up for where, the advertisements may come in the middle or spread through the entire podcast, but I think I gotta change things up because I don't want people to fast forward through the fucking sponsors. So and now that I said that, you're probably gonna fast forward 5 minutes. Anyway, you guys hear about this fucking CBD? CBD is a fucking amazing. I take it when I have anxiety. I take it, every so often. I take it when I got aches and pains because I got them old knees. You know, I'm 30. I'm turning 38 this year, but I got the knees made of wicker baskets. You know, all my tendons feel like they've been replaced with wicker basket construction. I walk upstairs and they crack. You know, you've heard it. It's kind of like when I released the Kraken with that Coors Light. But my knees, they go crack, crack, crack when I walk up the stairs, you know? And so I take a little bit of CBD and it makes it a little bit less crack-a-lackin'. CBD is great for everything. You have receptors inside your body. Did you know that? Did you know that shit? You got CBD receptors. Fucking crazy. So you take this little powder shit, put it in some drink. You can put it in a Coors Light, cool Coors Light. You can put it everywhere. My choice of CBD is Oleo, and they're a sponsor of the podcast, so let me talk about it. It was the first CBD I ever took. I had anxiety real bad. I was fucking pissed off at the world. I took this Oleo stuff. It made me real happy, and I forgot about all the bullshit happening in my life, you know? So what's awesome about that is they sponsor the podcast now, so I want to, talk about them. It's you pour it in any kind of drink. It's powder. CBD is usually powder if you've never experienced it. Pours in your drink. It's made from hemp, cannabidiol, and it's got anti-inflammatory properties. It's got potent absorption. Oleo is 2 times more bioaccessible than other CBD products, meaning it gets into your goddamn butthole quicker. That's important. It's got no aftertaste. It's flavor. Comes in flavorless and delicious flavored blends. I choose the tangerine orange. They got fucking several different flavors, but I choose the tangerine because it fucking makes me happy. You know, I like a little bit of, a little pep in my step. I put the orange fucking powder in there, and it's fucking real nice. And I can mix it with other stuff like Strike Force Energy. And then I've got a fantastic, energizing, anti-inflammatory, anti-anxiety drink. It's fucking weird. You think it counteracts each other, but it doesn't. It just makes your life wonderful. So if you want to try out Oleo CBD, go to the website, violentprofessional.com. Click the sponsors tab and go in there and then click on Oleo and then use code VIOPRO10 and get 10% off, and then they got subscriptions and all kinds of shit on there. Just get CBD in your life, kids. It fucking makes such a difference. I'm a testament to that. I don't think I could do the podcast without it. Take it as much as I need, take it as little as I need, and take it every other fucking week if I need. I just gauge what I need, and then I take it as such. If I'm getting real angry at the world because social media is bringing me down like it does, I just pop some CBD. CBD is great wherever you get it, but Oleo is a fucking perfect one for you. I feel, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you from experience that CBD has worked, and Big Pharma hates CBD, so it's worth a shot. People concerned about THC, it's THC free, so you're not going to pop hot in some fucking test. It's weird. Why can't you just trust that? You're like, there's no way. Hemp looks like this. Maybe you've been indoctrinated into the fucking prohibition mindset. You should stop that. It's not intoxicating. It's triple tested, so you know what's exactly inside. You look at the box, it's just like getting a box of cereal, except it's way healthier for you. There's not all sugar and shit. Go to violentprofessional.com/sponsors, tap the Oleo link, and use code VIOPRO10 for 10% off your order. It's fucking amazing, dog. You can also go to coreconceptsus.com, use code VIOPRO for 10% off. They got Kydex, they do training, they do all that shit. It's a great company as well, and they sponsor the podcast. You can go to ariesclothing.com, use VioPro for 15% off all of the shit, including this shirt you see right here if you're on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, you got to subscribe. Hit that subscription button. I know so I look at the analytics of it, and I know that 65% of you that watch regularly aren't subscribed. It doesn't make sense to me. It makes it way easier when you subscribe on YouTube. Just go do it. Puts a notification for all your favorite shit on YouTube. I'm not just talking about me. Do it for all podcasts that are out there that do shit on YouTube. Like, put the subscription and bell notifications on. Subscribe to all that shit, bell notifications. And, it's how I find out how Joe Rogan has a new podcast episode that dropped. Found out the other day, Post Malone was on a fucking episode with Joe Rogan. I was like, I'm watching that shit immediately because it popped up in my phone and told me. That's what happens when you turn on post notifications. So go ahead and do that. I got tons of content coming out. We do an episode, I clip it up so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want. I put the whole episode on there. I do promos throughout the week. I try to do a promo every single week that has nothing to do with episodes. It's just, promos for the podcast. Try to put them on there. I got different playlists. I got this new thing called Mike Calls a Friend where I fucking DM people and I send them weird voice messages and then I splice it into a fucking phone call, and it takes about 5 days to fucking edit, and it fucking drives me insane. I want to smash my computer, but it's worth it because it's cool. It's funny. I think. Maybe you don't think. I think. Go to strikeforceenergy.com like I said before. Use code EvilVibes for 20% off, and then if you order more than $35 worth of shit, you get free shipping. How can you beat that? American-made energy drinks. Fuck all that shit. Fuck all those other cans. You gotta kick the can. Get the fucking squirt bottle. Get a subscription. Comes every month. I'm on the subscription, and a little bit kickback because I use the code, comes back to the podcast. It helps us grow. Buys these cool microphones, buys that Tascam recorder, buys that Tascam switchboard. It's fucking amazing. Do that. Yeah, and that's about it. I'm going to switch it up. Like I said, I want you to use those codes. Try VioPro or Evil Vibes. And that's for the future of the podcast if we're still around. And then you get money off his shit. So, you know. So, I got to make a quick announcement for all of our patrons out there. I want to say some names because they've helped this podcast grow. And if you want to be a part of it and you want your name said on the podcast, you could be a part of it too. So I'm going to thank Cody Thomas, Eric, and I'm saying some of their names, that like first names, because they didn't list their fucking last name for reasons. I don't know why. But we got Cody Thomas, we got Eric, Logan, Ping, Adriana, Jack Ward, Devin Liss, Jennifer, Sid Titus, Jeff, David Johansson, who has some of the funniest shit on his story. Sid Titus, Jeff Garcia. I already went over that. Zach Yargis or Yargis, however you say that, you old pirate. Weldon L. Leonard. Peter Anspatch or Spack. I've never asked him what his last name, how you say it. And Andrew, Andy with an I. Yeah, thank you guys for being patrons. I try to hook up patrons the best I can with content they can't see. They always get episodes early. They get the videos early, YouTube videos, to the best of my ability. I try to fucking do it. I try to give them as much as they can. But I will announce that I am going to be changing up the patron benefits, perks, membership levels. I'm going to make it a little bit easier, a little bit financially easier for people to sign up. Some people are doing these huge pledges, but I feel like based on what they're spending, they should be getting a little bit more. So I want to make it a little bit easier for people to sign up. I want to make it a little bit easier to send them perks. I want to have exclusive merch. I want to have all that shit. Obviously, coronavirus puts a little bit of a damper on it. It's fucking up production for all t-shirt companies out there and merch companies out there. So I want to, over the next few weeks, kind of revamp our whole Patreon, make it a little bit better. Do monthly Q&As where you can fucking do a live convo with me or any of the other dudes that have been on the podcast and just shoot the shit and talk about the podcast and whatnot. And add different perks. I just gotta like sit down and fucking put pen to paper and see what comes out of my brain. So there's that. Lately, let me just segue. I'm gonna segue. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you all to all of the people that are patrons. Thank you to everybody who supports this podcast just by listening. If you're on this video or you're listening to this podcast, give this podcast episode a thumbs up. Subscribe to this podcast, please, and leave a comment. I'll respond to it, especially on YouTube. I've been responding to comments left and right. We've had a ton of people interested in our internet rabbit hole videos. If you haven't heard about our YouTube page, go there, check it out. There's a lot of interaction going on the YouTube comments, which is cool. I didn't even expect it. I didn't know that there'd be a lot of people commenting on it. There's a lot of followers on there. They're growing in Steam. I can look at the fucking analytics of it, and it's kind of like this. It's kind of like the coronavirus. Fucking flat. I need to not flatten the curve with that. There's no masks allowed in the Violent Professional Podcast. I want that curve to just never be a curve. I want it to be this fucking shooting star that goes up. You know, this thing that's like, holy fuck, it's so fucking viral. It's going to kill us all. That's what I want the podcast to be on YouTube. So it kind of looks like that. It's kind of cool to watch. Ooh. I've been getting out of town lately. I've been getting fucking out of town. Shit's been bringing me down. I'm going to be honest. The fucking social medias, the channels on there, the fucking feeds, they've been bringing me down in a major way. I've had a lot of trolls lately. And not like trolls that are like bringing up anything about me. It's just like they see the content and then they're just like shitting all over it. And I don't fucking get it. It's like, not so much on the podcast stuff. That's kind of a different thing. But just in my other stuff I do, it's like people have been going on there and shitting all over it. It's like, how can you shit on the, like, it's like they go, like, I had this one dude who was shitting on the fucking post for like, it was like I posted it fucking 3 years ago, and he talked shit on it, and it popped up obviously my phone, and I was on at that point. Usually shit gets buried, but sometimes I see when people post, and he was like talking about a photo from 3 years ago, like just some nonsense, uneducated shit he was saying. Uneducated in the terms like he didn't know what the fuck he was commenting on. He saw a photo, no context, fucking talk shit on it. And so I saw it, and 40 minutes later I responded, and he was like, oh, 40 minutes? Blah, blah, blah. Like, he fucking commented on 40 minutes. I was like, really? Like, you went back 3 years to find a photo, and you talk shit on that, and you're talking shit on fucking the fact that it took 40 minutes or something like that. Whatever the fucking timeline was. And it's like, I don't get, because I've talked a lot of shit on social media, but it usually revolves around my page. Like, I'll do it on mine and not talk about, if you follow the stuff for any amount of time, I've never gone out of my way to fucking go to somebody else's page, even if I fucking hate them. Like, the content and everything about them. Even if I know them, I've never gone out of my way to go to their page and talk shit. So me as a person, I don't get the time and tolerance people have to go out and fucking talk shit on a page that they're not a part of and they don't know anything about. They just, totally out of context, they just sit there and they're like, I'm going to get this motherfucker. I'm going to fucking get him. I'm going to say something. And it's like, yeah, you get me to respond, but like, what the fuck? Like, recently I had, like, yesterday, as a matter of fact, this guy went on a recent post, and he talked shit. Like, just was straight talking shit. Not following the page, because I always look, I'm like, is this person following the page, and they just over time didn't like it, and then they're like, whatever. No, it's literally someone who just stumbled across a hashtag, found the page somehow, went on there, found a post that was like fucking 3 weeks old, commented some fucking dumb shit, and then I respond. That weak dick motherfucker reported my fucking response, which was equally as shitty as his, and they took my fucking comment down on my page. Like, how the fuck does that work? I don't get it. I don't get it on all levels. I don't get the idea of, like, because I honestly, like, I don't want to, I can get inspired by other people's shit that I see that's force-fed into my feed and goes, oh, this is popular, and I don't think it's fucking cool. And then I'll use it for inspiration. I go on my own page and I go, this is dumb. In a very generic sense of the words. I never call people out, and I do it for legal reasons. I do it for the fact that I don't want to draw attention. I just want to voice my opinion. And maybe some of you think the same shit. Maybe you think that social influencers are dumb in some regards, and so I'll talk shit about just random shit, no names attached, and people will just think I'm talking about them. Yeah, so like, I don't get that concept. I don't get the concept of going to people's page, spending time out of my day, going to people's page, talking shit, and fucking mowing out of there, not following them. Like, fuck, if you're gonna fucking talk shit, at least follow the page so you know what they're about. Like, get some context to this whole thing. Get some motherfucking context. But I guess people don't have to. They can do what they want, you know? It's just funny to me to see the people that have never followed the page, that don't know what the fuck everything's about. This cord's annoying the shit out of me. I gotta get this fucking mic. It's like going through the table and fucking touching my knee. I'm getting ready to say sexual assault has taken place on this fucking microphone table. This podcast cable is sexually assaulting my knee. I'm like, you look at that video, I'm like scratching it looks like I'm grabbing my dick and fucking playing with as I talk, but it's literally the cable's just touching my knee. I'm wearing shorts. Hey, I gotta call sexual assault on this thing, which is honestly what we're gonna talk about in a little bit. But let's get to it in a little bit. Yeah, if you're on a fucking social media and you go and troll people's page, just fuck off. Just fuck the fuck off. you're such a fucking moron. Like, if you do that, like, I can understand memes, I can understand troll pages where they troll the shit out of, like, everybody on their page, but if you make it a practice to go to other people's pages to fucking troll the shit out of them, fuck you, you fucking suck a dick, motherfucker. You fucking asshole. You're a worthless piece of shit, and I'm looking right into the camera on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube, but you're a piece of fucking shit. You know? And not that you're trolling, but if you're gonna troll, at least be able to deal with the fact that someone might respond to you, because that's my game, dude. Like, if you're gonna talk shit on my page, I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna fucking mentally cripple you, but don't report me if you fucking instigate fucking silly cotton-headed ninny muggins, you fucking ass face. Okay? Because most of the time, I'm much more mentally equipped than you. Don't be mad just because you're fucking sitting there like Forrest Gump, listening to his mom getting banged in the fucking bathroom, and you're just like, and then you go click the fucking report button to Instagram. Of course they're gonna side with you, you little shitbird. Oy. Anyway, let's get into it. I wanted to talk about this, and I don't like to get in pop culture. I don't like pop culture. I don't like it at all. And I don't consider comedians pop culture, even though they're a little bit in the pop culture. But I felt like I had to talk about it because I think there's a lot of people that could, you know, take some value of this conversation. And I have some relatable content, or I have some relatable conversations and stories from friends that dealt with this shit. And it's just it's a horrible fucking thing to witness and experience the pain that goes into false allegations of sexual assault. Sexual assault. You put that sexual assault on your fucking steak tacos. It's fucking wonderful. Put that shit in your mouth and it's like rape. No, sexual assault is no laughing matter. But the people that claim sexual assault on people that are, you know, they're lying about it is fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. And I was sitting there the other day and I'm like, man, there's a lot of cases that kind of fall through. Like, these people claim sexual assault on these famous people, and it fell through and nothing fucking happened. The dude just went off the fucking grid, like his career was over. And so, like, it's horrible to watch that shit. And it doesn't just happen to fucking celebrities. You know, you look at it and you're like, all of a sudden after all these times, like, all these people come out and it's usually politically. Like, why the fuck did you wait so long to say something? Oh, that person was gaining traction and then you said something? Like, yes, I'm not denying there's situations that happen where a man or even a woman, like, let's just throw that out there. It's not just men that are the fucking people of this. I've been fucking sexually assaulted before in my life. You know, I have a story about that I'll probably tell on the fucking podcast one day. Had to do with this fat redheaded chick who fucking threw her pussy on my mouth. And I wasn't ready for it because I was drunk and high. Do I go 20 years later and fucking go fucking to a fucking, you know, a hearing? No. I tell it as a story because I'm a man. And I fucking enjoyed it while I was stoned and fucking drunk. But she definitely raped me, all right? But here's the deal. I know everybody's situation is different. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that people don't use their power or their situation in life. Like, a celebrity will fucking, use their, position to gain themselves sexually. I'm not, look at Bill Cosby. Look at the fucking Jello pudding pop master, the king of the Jello pudding pops. Look at him. He's in jail. All right? He was proven in the court of law. And I'm going to get into all that. Sorry to those of you who wear the sweaters while you listen to this podcast. Rudy! Some of you Theos need to relax a little bit. But yeah, so there's this article that came out in LA Times, just busted in the scene, accusing a comedian that I really enjoy listening to his podcast. He's got a podcast with Brendan Schaub. It's Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub. They got King and the Sting. Not King and the Sting. That's Theo Vaughn. So Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub have a podcast called The Fighter and the Kid. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. It's awesome. I subscribe to them on YouTube, which you should do with my podcast right here, Violent Professional Podcast. It's at youtube.com/Violent Professional Podcast. Not Violent Professional Podcast, just youtube.com/Violent Professional. You can get right there and then subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, bell notifications. But I watch and listen to, I just watch the podcast on YouTube. It's The Fighter and the Kid, and it's Brian Callen. He's been in great movies like The Hangover. He was that Russian dude in the strip club. If you've seen the movie, he's got a lot of stuff out there. He's on TV shows. He's a fucking famous comedian, you know? And, you know, a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, was Chris D'Elia, who I look up to as well as far as comedic inspiration. I love that dude and his comedia. And some of those allegations have been proven false. Like, you know, allegations are just allegations until you prove them true. And in many cases, a lot of them are fucking proven. Not many. I'll just say in these situations, in Chris D'Elia's case, it was proven that it was like, you know, there was people, you know, saying he did stuff when he never met them. It's like, and the media just runs wild with that shit. They just jump all over it because it's a fucking famous person getting accused of something that maybe they did or maybe they didn't. And it's unfortunate because I enjoyed Chris's comedy and his fucking podcast. I listened to that. He had Congratulations. It's on YouTube as well. It's an awesome podcast. It's just him, like, it's sort of like this, like, you know, he just sits in his room, and he has a podcast studio, and he just fucking rambles and just talks and has some funny shit he says. He's got little quirks about him, and then he's got podcast specials on, or he's got a comedy specials on Netflix and stuff, and it essentially, just the allegations without the actual proof ruined his life immediately. Like, he hasn't been on social, he hasn't been putting anything out for fucking 2 months now, and it's unfortunate. Just allegations that were unfounded. I mean, there may be something that comes out later. I'm not saying that he's fucking not guilty, but I'm saying that there's no proof that he was doing anything illegal. You know what I mean? So you know, you can look at the conspiracy and go on, you know, what's that fucking conspiracy thing? Not 4chan. I mean, that's one of them, but you can go in, like, Reddit. You can go on Reddit and look at what people are thinking is happening. Like, they're trying to go after every major comedian, whatever, because people are fucking bored. I don't fucking know. So, yeah, so, like, Brian Callen, who unfortunately was now accused of sexually, you know, using his power as a position to manipulate women, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not, though. You know, there's always that. So an LA Times article came out, written by some feminist lady, super feminist, who jumped all over the chance to write a piece about how some comedian supposedly raped all these women. You know, which is a weird thing in itself. When these allegations come out, I understand they're famous people, but it's always followed by, like, 32 people fucking all of a sudden were raped by this person. And again, I'm not denying that this shit happens. I'm just saying it's a little bit odd that it's almost like something was written like, hey, in the event somebody comes forward, we just need people to say that they did this too. And, like, accusation is enough to ruin somebody's career. You know, I've seen it happen with friends that they were accused of something and it never fucking happened and was proven in a court of law. And I'll get into that later. And, you know, it just ruins people's lives, just the accusation alone. And I don't think that that's necessarily right. But anyway, LA Times had an article, and I'll just read through it. So this lady, Catherine Fiore Tigerman, broke out in a cold sweat, her shirt damp. She scrolled through the text messages from her best friend, alerting her that comedian Chris D'Elia was being accused of sexual misconduct by scores of women on Twitter. It was 4, and that was proven false. That the emails, while they were young, 18, it's still legal. He did nothing and wasn't, there's a whole thing about grooming and all this shit, but it's like, that's, I don't agree with that. I think 18-year-old girls are fucking horrible. I don't know why people are attracted to people that are even 18. Like, 21's pushing it. I'm like, you are so fucking annoying. I would venture to say that if you're a 40-year-old plus person, if you dip past fucking 40, like, what the fuck are you doing? Everybody under your age is so fucking annoying. I don't even give a shit about any of them. There's like, oh, cool, you want to find out about me? I'm not interested in talking to you. Oh, yeah. And then you go past that, and it's like people that do TikTok and your shit, and you're like, oh, cool, you got a bunch of likes for dancing to a song that somebody else did. I don't get it. To each their own. But, it's been proven nobody did anything illegal. But anyway, so we're going on this. I love these articles, and I don't think I'm going to get through the whole thing because I think that would be way too long. But it's funny to me, to say the least. Like, these articles that are trying to prove that people are just dirtbags always have the most fucking melancholy approach. If that's even too light. Like, they have the most dreadful way. I can't even say. It's like, how to explain it. You gotta like read an article where they talk about this shit. It's always sided towards the person without a court hearing or anything. It's like before all this shit, and they just have this narrative in there that's just so off-putting. And I'm talking, it doesn't have to do with just this situation. It's just like when there's an accusation made on any level, it's just like there's pictures of these people like sitting on a fucking swing or like, sitting there looking off into the distance with a frowny face and shit. Like, the articles are always comedic. So this article continues on. Lightheaded, she logged on to Twitter to scan allegations. She found that many of the tweets referred not just to D'Elia's supposed misconduct, but to that of his tight circle of male comedians. My first thought was, is something going to happen with Brian? Tigerman recalled. Reading all the comments, I thought, here it comes. I know how this terrible this person is for 20 years, and maybe I'm not the only one. I'm kind of like the way Dave Chappelle is. He's in his most recent comedy special, he's like, I'm what they call a victim blamer. There's all this. You can read the article. It's on LA Times. I've got like 12 pages written out, but I don't want to like get into all of the stuff that was said. It's all very circumstantial, and like there's literally no proof on there that anything is happening. There's just a bunch of things that are all like, you could tell by reading this article that it's like pushed on by the fucking person that wrote it, because if you look at her background, I wish I wrote down her name, but she's she's self-proclaimed feminist. It's just like this fucking narrative that's pushed out. Like, Tigerman is not the only woman who claims Callan was sexually inappropriate with her. And what does that fucking mean? Is it like sexually inappropriate? I don't get sexually inappropriate at all, because I just stay away from everyone. Women, men, myself. I go to bed completely clothed because I don't even want the aliens to come in and fucking see my wiener. That's not what I'm about. But it's so fucking dramatic. Like, go and read it, and it's like all of these articles in themselves are fucking so fucking dramatic. Like, I don't get the concept of, and I'm going to put this out there for any ladies that are watching him. If any ladies that are watching this podcast, if you ever, God forbid, if you ever get raped in the future, fucking say something immediately. Don't do shit like, let me look at this section. If you are, hopefully, I swear to God, hopefully not, because it's the worst thing that I think could happen, because I know somebody that was legitimately raped, and it's a fucking mind fuck. It's like it fucking takes everything from you as a woman, or me. I'm not. I was raped by this big fat ginger chick, and it was like, I got a story now, but it's different for guys, right? I want to find this one part that I was talking about. Some of the shit in here is just so ridiculous. I can't even imagine. Like, even my fucking wildest dude friends even saying this shit. How about that blowjob? Callan said. Like, come on. Seriously, fucking the way they portray men, like, because I know dudes that are fucking dickheads to chicks, but even them, it's just like. It's not, like, I can't imagine, like, money and power, right? Like, there's a big thing about money and power in this sort of world because they all are millionaires. And I don't, like, but it, I don't think whatever level you go up, unless you're like a Jeffrey Epstein or some shit, who's like a fucking psychopath. Like, normal people aren't like this, from what I know, But I also don't associate with these type of people. But where the fuck is that part? I don't want to continue to fucking just go on it and leave you guys hanging and sitting here listening to me breathe out of my fucking mouth into the microphone. But anyway, guys don't fucking act this way, that I know at least. And I know some dirty ass dudes, but nobody does that. Just to get away from all that, because yes, I believe that men abuse their power, no doubt. I believe that men rape women. I believe that women rape men. I believe people are assholes. And I think that, people should be nicer to each other in general, as odd as that is to hear from me. For me, it's like I don't really like to be around people because I know the intentions of people. I know how they are, and I know that people generally, I would say a good amount of people out there will fucking just, they will manipulate and use whatever leverage they have to benefit themselves instead of just being good people to each other. And I think that's like, there are people out there that take advantage of situations where a young comedian, a young female comedian wants to get stage time, and a more famous comedian will go, "Yo, you suck my dick and you can get on." Like, I believe that has probably happened or is still happening, I don't think it's happened as much these days, because if you do that shit and you're a sociopath and you take advantage of people like that in this day and age, you're looking for to get beat down or like legally in trouble or go to jail. Like, it's fucking crazy this day and age that people still act this way, and I think it really does happen. Do I believe that after all I've seen with Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia, do I believe that they're guilty of that shit? I think they're guys, and I think that they want to get laid if I look at it, but I don't, just from all the shit I've seen from all sides, this article included, I think, honestly, it's people trying to fucking go after them because they're millionaires. That's just my opinion, but it hasn't been proven in the court of law, and that's what I'm about. If you can prove it, and, it's up to the person that's accusing to prove that it's actually true. So if that's the case, let them burn. If both of them, if that's the case, let them burn, and I probably won't watch their shit anymore. Although it's funny, I'll say that, but you still have to prove it. I was thinking about this because I'm like, I was talking to the bros, Mark and David. Mark and David, I think yesterday we were fucking hanging out around a bonfire. And I was like, why don't there's plenty of instances where women accuse men of rape. There's plenty of instances of that. And the court case, and especially in Hollywood, right? And people are it's all over the media and the news and shit like that. And then it's just gone as quickly as you fucking heard about it, with the exception of Bill Cosby, because he was a straight up piece of shit, right? And again, I do believe that happens probably most likely in Hollywood because of money and shit like that. But like I was saying to the guys, I'm like, why the fuck don't the people that are absolutely proven that they were lying, why don't they get in trouble? Like, why don't they get in trouble for accusing someone of bullshit that never happened? Like, you can look at Blasey Ford. Accused Kavanaugh, was proven that it was bullshit. I'm not right or left leaning. I'm just saying these are the facts. Proven it's bullshit. She accused him. It's bullshit. Never fucking happened. At least by the standards of law. It was proven not guilty. Went on with his life. But his reputation and life was ruined just based on the allegation. And I don't feel like that's right. But unfortunately, that's how it is, right? So I was asking, I'm like, well, what happens? Because I've seen it firsthand where one of my good friends was accused of it and he never fucking did it. This lady, nice fucking lady, right? She went and fucking accused him, had this whole fucking court case drawn up, tried to fucking get him arrested. He was looking at years in prison. And she was lying the whole time. And it was documented in her fucking journal or diary or whatever. And she gave it to the fucking lawyers. And it spelled out exactly what she was going to do and what she did. And she fucking was proven that she was lying in a court of law. He was not guilty. He didn't do it. Essentially what happened in a nutshell is his dick was too fucking big for her. She's a little person. Some people are little. His dick was too fucking big and they couldn't fuck. So while they were dating, they eventually hooked up a few times and his dick was too big and he couldn't keep fucking her because it hurt her. And because he was like, I don't want to keep hurting you, we got to break up. And then they broke up and she went off to fuck 50 other people, fucking tried to throw them all under the bus, fucking said they all raped and drugged her and shit like that. And then she wrote it in her fucking diary that this is what she's going to do because she was hurt so bad by the breakup. Went to court, proven that he was not guilty, proven that she fucking lied about it, proven that she was just a fucking malicious cunt, and nothing happened to her. He went on with his life, but he was, based on what happened, his life was forever altered. It still affects him to this day because it took a year of his life out. Took a fucking year of his life out. He was sitting there for a fucking year just going like, fuck, I didn't do shit. Just stressing the fuck out. His finances, his life, everything was altered. And it still is to this day. And it's been fucking 6 years of some shit. He still has trouble with it. It's fucking traumatic, right? He went through a year of his life where he was just everything was on standby and he was just fuck, I may go to jail for something I didn't do. That's crazy. But that's a very real situation that happens all the fucking time. Think about it. There's people that accuse shit of other people and it goes to court because they're fucking jealous or they're fucking pissed off at him and they just go with this lie and then they get other people to fucking jump in on it. And it's unfortunate. There's people that are in jail to this day because people lied. They accused and they lied because they were trying to make a fucking revenge sort of thing. For whatever reason. Now, I'm not saying that fucking Callan and fucking Dalia didn't do something wrong in their life, but I think what's wrong with society these days, especially it goes toe to toe with if that's even the right word. I just picked some shit out. It coincides with social media, right? People will just accuse, especially a celebrity, they'll accuse of this fucking heinous deed without any fucking evidence of proof. And especially, like, if you're waiting 20 years, it's even more like, why the fuck did you wait? You know, it said in the fucking article, it was like, well, I felt he raped me and his dog was chewing on my panties, like, then I had to pick him up and wear these panties out in the street with you know, with these dog chew things on, and he was just like, you're my girlfriend, boyfriend now, wow, like, this crazy shit that's in the article. That's what I was trying to find before, but I guess I'm just fucking paraphrasing it, right? And then when supposedly her friend said, like, you need to go get a rape kit done and prove that blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, I felt that was too invasive. Shut the fuck up. Listen, if you're a lady and you get raped, go get a fucking rape kit. If you're a fucking man that gets fucked by another dude or raped by some big fat ginger chick and you feel guilty about it, go get a rape kit. Like, don't wash your dick off. Go there and they'll fucking swab that shit and go, oh, yeah, she definitely raped you. Like, go do that. Stop with all this fucking 50 years later shit. Like, this day and age, I think that women owe it to other women. You know, we want to have, like, people like Amy Schumer back up all these fucking people accusing people that could just come out of nowhere. You could just accuse people these days. You know, if you really want to support women, promote the fact of going to get a goddamn rape kit. Prove that these fucking assholes are out there. Throw them in jail. Fucking throw them away. Get them out of society. You know what I mean? Like, stop fucking just going, all right, blanketly support you. Wait until the facts come out. Wait until there's a fucking court hearing. Wait until fucking proof is, shown out there. Don't just listen to these fucking people. And that doesn't just go for women. It goes for men too. Like, stop just believing people. People are liars. Like, I don't know if you know this. I've lied on a regular basis on this podcast. But what? Not this episode, but like others. Like, I'm emotional right now, but what I'm saying is, like, I have lied myself. Everyone fucking lies about shit. You know, I try to be a person of integrity, but for fucking comedic purposes, I like to exaggerate, which is still a lie. Oh, he's an exaggerator. No, he's lying. He's a fucking liar. Not exaggerating. Like, you didn't tell the truth about it. Oh, that thing was like when I fucking told somebody one time, I was telling this story, and I fell through the ice when we were walking across this frozen lake one time, and my foot, like, I fell through the ice, but it was literally like a foot and a half. So I went up to the middle of my calf. Later when I went back, I was like, I fell through like 4 feet. And somebody was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think it was Mark was talking shit about it. And it's like, yes, exaggerate. It's an exaggeration. I fell through like 4 foot in my leg. My leg's not 4 foot long. That'd be weird. I'd be fucking really tall. But I said this like and it's like, you're fucking exaggerating. You're a liar. Like, fuck, man. People lie. People lie all of the time, especially to benefit themselves. They exaggerate, you know, and that's a problem in itself when it comes to law. Like, if you're exaggerating for emphasis, you're fucking lying. Just tell the truth. People need to be more truthful in life. I try to instill that fucking idea in my son. Be truthful no matter what. It's gotten me in trouble before. Like, you know, it's gotten me in trouble lying just as a kid to an adult. Like, I've lied in the past about stuff. Not all the time, but there's been times that have gotten me in real deep shit because I've said something. And you go into your life and you lie to police or something like that, that can get you in real trouble. Especially if you go into court, that can get you in real deep shit. Like, just be fucking honest with yourself and with other people. You know, especially in this situation, because you not only if you're honest about this stuff and you actually did get raped, that's, you know, understandable. Like, maybe you were terrified or whatever. I'm not saying, like, don't wait 20 years. Like, you just let it go and it's a different time 20 years ago. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, don't let past mistakes fuck up everything for other people. If you have a situation like that, if you listen to this podcast, you take anything from me, be fucking truthful. And if you have a situation where you get raped by some fucking asshole, and I'm talking about men or women, and you feel like you need to pursue that, and if it's so traumatic to you, be brave enough to go fucking talk to somebody, especially law enforcement, and lock that piece of shit up. You know what I mean? So anyway, going back on it. I was talking to Mark and David, I think yesterday, and we were like, why don't people get in trouble for it? And it's a weird thing because I looked it up. Like, is it a crime to accuse somebody of something like rape or something like that when it never happened and you consciously fabricate a story? Yes, it absolutely is. And I think as we go forward, one of the things I see is like, I've seen it plenty of times, people get accused of rape and there's no punishment for it, for lying about it. It just fucks up the person's life. And there's no punishment on the other side. But it's illegal as shit. It's actually a felony in some cases, some states, misdemeanor in others, up to a year in jail. It's called perjury, friends. So if you're out there and you're thinking, because I think that this should be something like there should be examples of cases where people lie about getting raped and then it's proven that, you fabricated, and it shouldn't just go away. I think there should absolutely be a repercussion for it. Because here's the deal. You fucking lie about it and you fabricate some shit and you say this person did one of the most heinous acts aside from pedophilia. You now fuck up that person's life because you were lying about it. Like, you fuck up their life on many levels. And it's someone is accused, and someone's accused of this act. Not only are their finances fucked up because now they have to go through this whole court thing, their families affected. Like, think about, like, someone is accused of being raped. Like, everybody automatically just believes that this person's a rapist, with the exception of, friends or whatever. And even friends will be like, fuck, dude, like, I know this guy, he's aggressive and shit. Like, yeah, maybe. And it just affects relationships, it affects families, it affects everything, just because you fucking had a vengeful situation. Again, I want to put this out there that yes, some people are raped, some people deserve to go to jail. Not every woman's a liar, but it happens. It happens. I promise you, it fucking happens. I've seen it. Again, if you listen back, I have a friend that had that happen to. 100% not guilty, and it was lied about, and she just went on with her day. No big deal. No punishment for it, and that shouldn't happen because his life was forever altered because of it. So I think we all owe it to each other to just not be assholes when it comes down to it. Let me get on the legalities of it. So police deal with false criminal accusations with relative frequency. It is an unfortunately regular occurrence for people going through bitter divorces, particularly when it comes to child custody, which I have a friend going through some stuff with child custody right now, and it's unfortunate. She lies about shit in court, and it fucks up his life, and he's just trying to have more time with his kids because she's resentful of whatever. However, the penalties for falsely accusing someone of a crime range from none at all to potentially decades behind bars. It all depends on how the accusation was made and the intent of the accuser and what is being accused. So there's all these multiplied effects of intent, intent of the accusation, and then figuring that out. People don't get in trouble for accidentally making a false accusation if they think something's, but in the event of rape, a claim of rape that didn't happen, that's a big fucking thing. And so if they prove that, you can actually get jail time for doing that because it does affect people's lives. So perjury is the intentional act of swearing a false oath or falsifying an affirmation to tell the truth, whether spoken or in writing, concerning matters material to an official proceeding. The penalty, if convicted of perjury, is under the federal law may face up to 5 years in prison and fines. The punishment for perjury under state law varies from state to state, but perjury is a felony and carries a possible prison sentence of at least 1 year plus fines and probation. I think people need to hear that. If you're someone who wants to falsely accuse something of something serious, it needs to be spoken about. And I think people need to know. I think that's one of the issues with it. If I think about it, people just do this all the time. Like, it's, people rape, it's fucking real, but there's people that are accused of it because of reasons and it never fucking happened. And I think people need to hear, like, there's an actual punishment for accusing someone of such a heinous fucking thing. We can't just say, like, you need to believe all women because there's still a court of law. We still need to prove all this shit. And, like, just allowing that blanket clearance of just, yeah, you can accuse whoever, which it is these days. Women can accuse men of this fucking thing and just get away scot-free if they're fucking lying because they were mad at the person or whatever. Like, there needs to be some understanding. There needs to be some understanding. If you're lying, and I've never been a part of one of these cases, but I think it's a disservice to people in general. If that word is not getting out, like you could go, if you're lying about this, you could go to jail. You realize that? Like it could be 10 years. You can go to jail if you accuse this person of doing something so horrible, and it's proven that you were lying. So, so I want to say this: if you're accused of anything in life, and this just is a general purpose, general blanket situation. If you're accused of anything ever, shut your fucking mouth. Don't go on Twitter. Even if you're a celebrity, be like, I have to clear the fucking air. Don't go on Twitter. Talk to a fucking lawyer. Shut your fucking mouth. Apologize later if you feel like it. But if you're out there fucking posting shit on Twitter because you feel like you need to, you're fucking probably incriminating yourself in some way. You need to consult lawyers on all levels. That goes for anything, like anything at all. Look, I've been in trouble for shit in the past, and I like nothing big, but like, just you gotta shut your mouth and talk to a lawyer if it's serious. I've never had a situation where I've had to talk to a lawyer. Let me caveat that. But if you get into some serious trouble, like you're gonna people want to say police brutality these days. They want to say like whatever. Just shut your fucking mouth if you feel like you're going to get arrested, because they use everything against you. That's the game, And that goes for social media. If you get in trouble, don't fucking post it on social media. If anybody that has a major presence on social media is listening, if you get accused of anything, shut your mouth. Let the fucking legal system work. Get a lawyer, fucking talk to them, and they'll tell you the appropriate manner. Just shut the fuck up. That's the main thing. There's the Fifth Amendment. People incriminate themselves all the time. It's crazy. Just because they can't stop talking. If you can't stop talking, go on a fucking start your own podcast. So I want to close this up because it's getting to be an hour. Get a little bit tipsy. This episode's a downer, talking about friends that got in trouble for shit, that didn't do shit. And so in summary, I want to say that when someone is accused, their life is altered as we know it. So if you're going out there to accuse somebody because you got mad because they broke up, think about the consequences of you accusing someone. Like just step outside of yourself. You may be mad at someone, but just knee-jerk reaction, just stop. Take a breath. I always say it to people, like, if you have a situation you're getting emotional about or you're fucking getting worked up, just fucking take a breath. Take a breath and go walk a lap. Go out there. Go out there and fucking just chill out. Think of all the angles. Think of the second and third order effects of what could happen. You could fuck up somebody's life needlessly because you're mad at them. But I will also say, if someone does you dirty like that, one of the most heinous fucking things, go talk to a lawyer as well. Go do it. Don't feel like, I felt it was too invasive. It's 20 years later. It's fucking, in some regards, it's too late. Just fucking talk to somebody. Go to the fucking cops. Go get you owe it to other people. If you come out 20 years later, I'm sorry. You're an asshole. You're a detriment to your fucking own fucking gender. One of your 5,000 genders that are now acceptable. Seriously. If something bad happens to you, you owe it to other people to fucking take it into your own hands. Stop being a pussy about it, because that's what it is. I don't give a fuck about your mental welfare. If you have something happen, I don't care how detrimental it is to you. Go tell the fucking cops. Fucking dick fuckers. If someone's guilty, they should fry. But people should also be punished for false accusations. Like, it shouldn't just be a blanket clearance for people to fucking just accuse people of shit with no repercussions if they're found that they lied. I've seen it firsthand. Like I said, one sexual assault accusation destroys fucking lives, even if they're fucking not true. Like, even if it's not true, if you're accused of sexual assault or being inappropriate with your dick or balls or whatever part of your fucking skin sack that you're inappropriate with, it fucking ruins just people's lives. you know? Ruins families. It ruins fucking finances. It ruins fucking their social, their social well-being. People look at them different, because it's always like, well, there's some hint of truth. Somebody accused it. It doesn't mean that it's fucking true. There's this thing, and it's a part of American culture. It's one of the most important things I feel about American culture, and it's the presumption of innocence in all levels. It's one of the most sacred principles in the American criminal justice system, holding that a defendant is innocent until proven guilty. In other words, the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt each essential element of the crime charged. So it's the responsibility of the person that's accusing to prove that it's true. Now, that's through lawyers. It's through all of it. It's through the legal system. We wouldn't be like, there's countries that don't do that. It's like, there's some countries that if you're accused by the state, you get your fucking feet chopped off and shit. So we're Americans. This is an American podcast, right? So if you're listening somewhere else, that's how the America's like that. Like many free countries, like most of the world, even under the UN rules, it's you have to prove that somebody you're accusing is guilty. It's on you to provide the burden of proof. So a lot of this goes around social media. I'll finish up with this fucking thing from my favorite fucking comedian, Amy Schumer. That beluga fucking whale. So, so in response, this is what I was talking about, is like, don't just go out on social media and say something just because you feel like an overwhelming urge to do it. So Callan responded with a tweet, and he said, "Let me be very clear. I've never raped, forced myself upon a woman, or offered to trade stage time for sex, ever. The horrific and false allegations originated in today's LA Times will be addressed in detail in a special Saturday night edition of my podcast on TFATK, which is The Fighter and the Kid, tomorrow. I will not allow the cancel culture to subvert what I know, and as importantly, what these women know is the truth." Big mistake, buddy. You should have consulted a lawyer. Maybe he did. I don't know. I just watch him. But yeah, it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, don't fucking say shit. Some people will say, like, why isn't he responding? Probably if somebody's not responding, they're doing the smart thing like D'Elia did. He didn't say shit. He went and probably consulted a lawyer. And unfortunately for the rest of us, we can't watch his comedy. Just the old shit, which is not cool. So, of course, this fucking cantankerous fucking swinehound came on fucking social media like she does in every situation. This fucking big beluga whale with fucking legs and a fucking platform. Amy Schumer, that big fat piece of shit. She just blanketly accepts, like, whatever happened to fucking proven innocent until proven guilty. Amy Schumer don't care. She's just a big fat pig that nobody wants to fuck. So she's just mad that she didn't get raped. That's fucking horrible. So Amy Schumer posted a statement on Instagram in response to LA Times story in support of the brave women who came forward and shared their stories. You are saving, quote, "You are saving the women who may have come after you. And to the comics who are annoyed with me for standing with these ladies, what are you so afraid of? Available on my number in my bio if anyone wants to talk about Brian or anyone else who has sexually assaulted you, at Brian Callen. Have a nice day," she wrote. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, are you so irrelevant? Like, your comedy's not funny. First off, I want to say this. There's very few comedians of the female nature that are funny. One, because it's also hilarious that somebody like Amy Schumer that continuously tells jokes about her fucking overinflated fucking pussy, fat fucking pussy, like just banging dudes and shit. Like, that's what they all go to. Like, I wish there was a female comic that would actually tell jokes that didn't revolve around their stanky puss, because it would be hilarious to see your insights. I'm sure some of you are out there like, I can't remember her name, Leggero. I can't remember her first name, but she's pretty fucking funny. I'm sure she tells jokes like that because that's fucking every female comic. Like, it's almost like, it's like the midget telling jokes about being fucking a Smurf or a fucking leprechaun. Like, this shit's not funny. You know, Amy Schumer's one of those fucking bloated pig womans that like to talk about getting laid, and then she'll go out and fucking, you know, like, I like when a guy just grabs me from behind or whatever the fuck she says, and then we'll go out there and just fucking talk about how men are so aggressive. It's like, have you listened to any of your comedy? Oh, by the way, I can't even consider it comedy because you're not funny. Like, Amy Schumer is not fucking funny. She has one of the worst fucking ratings on all of fucking Netflix for comedy. Like, she's fucking horrible. You know, I've never thought she was funny. And like this shit that I see where she just immediately jumps to the aid of people without letting due process go, without actually letting the fucking facts come out. It's just immediately jumps on it because she's not fucking relevant. Like, that's what it is. She had some documentary where she was like documenting her fucking birth and shit. Like, who the fuck wants to see that? Keep some of your shit private. I understand that's what fucking celebrities do. They just fucking open their life to the fucking world. But who cares? Keep your shit private. And it's fucking obnoxious when you have a trend of just continuously going to the side of people that accuse. It's like, what is your purpose here? All women should be believed. No, they shouldn't. Not all women should be believed. Just like not all men should be believed. People should not be believed. Like, you can't just, like, I'm going to go like, I was raped by a fat ginger woman. Like, I'll say it right here and sit here and cry and shit. Be like, I remember I logged on to Twitter and I was upset because I saw someone who looked like a fat ginger lady. And she had 1,000 likes on a photo, and it made me lock up and shake, and I was very scared because I thought about 20 years ago when that fat fucking ginger lady threw her giant pepperoni nipples in my face. And I was incapable of saying, hey, stop, I don't like fat ginger ladies with giant saucer nipples and alabaster skin. I was so fucked up and drunk and fucking high. And I don't know how I had a boner, but goddamn it happened. But hey, this is my fucking accusation. My accusation is this. My accusation of this situation is that people will lie because they're upset about someone's success. That's straight it. Is this the case with this fucking thing with Brian Callen? Who the fuck knows? I don't see any reason why she would lie. I'll just say that out there. But what I do know is what you see across the board is that people do fucking lie. People do lie. All of the time. Because of fucking personal intention. And it's so fucking unfortunate because as I've said, it ruins people's fucking lives and nobody cares. Social media is fucking horrible. And so I'll leave you with fucking this. This was sent in to me by a dude named Chad Lemmy. I should just say Chad. Yeah, it's this dude named Chad, this bro named Chad, this bro man dude named Chad. You know, Chad sent this in to me, and I thought it was perfect. I thought it was fucking brilliant. It's a quote, and it's so relevant to today. And I think it's perfect not because he said it. He just sent it to me, and it's such a perfect quote. And it's by Hunter S. Thompson. And it goes like this. We are all alone, born alone, die alone, and in spite of true romance magazines, we shall all someday look back on our lives and see that in spite of our company, we were alone the whole way. I do not say lonely, at least, not all the time, but essentially and finally alone. This is what makes your self-respect so important. And I don't see how you can respect yourself if you must look in the heart and minds of others for your happiness. My friends, I believe that wholeheartedly. You need to fucking respect yourself. You need to be happy in your own skin in order to respect others. And if you're not going to respect others. You're going to take advantage of them. You're going to be an asshole to other people. And I think this day and age, with all the crazy shit going on, we need to respect other people and especially ourselves, because if you're unhappy and you are miserable in your own situation, you're not going to respect yourself one fucking bit. And that will fucking spill over to the rest of the world. With that, kids, I hope you're having a good night. And I want you to research a UN Agenda 21, 2030, and 2050. Peace! I'm out of here. If you like this episode, please consider subscribing to us on Patreon by visiting patreon.com/violentprofessional. By subscribing, you have access to all the episodes as soon as we upload, as well as bonus content that you can't see anywhere else. You can also support us by simply giving us a positive rating on your listening platform of choice. And above all, thank you for the continued support of the Violent Professional Podcast.